If you're a retail founder with 3 or more stores who is constantly drowning in distractions, listen to this. What if I told you that you could save 13 hours a week by only slightly changing the way that you do things? And you'll see the results almost immediately. Imagine having an extra 13 hours a week. That's almost 2 hours a day. What would you do with that time? Would you spend more time working on your business instead of just in your business? Would you spend more time with your family, maybe attend more of your kids' events, have more movie nights, or just enjoy a work-free weekend with your spouse? Right now, I'm betting your days are a blur of constant interruptions, emails, phone calls, team members with questions. They never end. You start early, stay late, and even work on vacations. And even after all of that, you still don't have enough time to get the things done that actually move the business forward. And you know that if something doesn't change, eventually you will burn out, or worse, you'll have to close the business. To boot, you probably struggle with cash flow, which adds to the layers of stress and anxiety. You might even be skipping your own paycheck to cover the bills, which impacts your personal finances. So that pressure is relentless and the firefighting never stops for you. Maybe your team depends on you for even the tiniest decisions, making it impossible to focus on the high-level strategies that drive growth. Instead, you're caught up in the daily grind, dealing with unexpected events and putting out fires. If that's you, you're stuck in what I like to call the CEO trap. The CEO trap is actually a good problem to have, even though it doesn't feel like it. It's a symptom of scaling a business, and you're not alone. Everyone goes through it at some point. You probably know in your heart that if you get past a certain point, then things will get better. If you just hit a certain revenue goal, or if you just hire the right manager, then everything will be easier for you. But the truth is that adding more people just adds more complexity. And reaching new levels of scale requires you to simplify the business, not add to the chaos. But you also know you need more people because there's just too much work to do with the team that you currently have. So it's a catch-22. If you add people, things get harder, but if you don't, things stay as hard as they are. And let's not forget the hiring and firing hamster wheel, where you bring in new team members and it doesn't work, and you end up having to fire them and do the work until you bring in someone else, only to keep repeating that cycle. But how do I know this? Well, over the last decade, I've worked with hundreds of business owners who are looking to scale. I read all the books like E-Myth and Traction, and I've experienced it myself. Despite my background, when I started my first business, I was absolutely lost, right? And on top of that, I'm the son of an entrepreneur. My mom was an entrepreneur, and the local government was her main source of revenue. My mom worked her butt off to give me and my brother everything she could, and she did a pretty good job of giving us a great life. We had most of what we wanted and just about everything we needed, but sometimes, the dots just didn't connect. Every so often, I would have to call my mom on the phone because somebody from the light company or the water company was banging on our door and telling me that if they didn't get a payment right now, they would cut off our electricity or our water. So my mom would have to have me as a teenager write them a check and give them that money just to get them to leave, right? Even though she knows she didn't have the money. And for me, I couldn't understand because as a kid, as far as I know, business owners were supposed to be rich, right? We were supposed to have to worry about having our power turned off. We were supposed to have a bunch of money, and it made me wonder what the hell was my mom doing wrong, right? After starting my first business, I would later find out that the relationship between revenue, accounts receivable, and cash flow can sometimes be a pretty harsh one, especially when you're not getting paid on time. But I'll tell you more about that in a minute. That led to some tough times, but my mom kept pushing. I would go to bed and she would be working on the family computer. And then when I would wake up in the morning to get ready to leave for school, she would still be up and still be working. Fast forward a few years later, and I'm becoming a dad myself. And I decided to start a business at the same time, right? Like a maniac. I was determined to make sure to be able to show up for my kid whenever she wanted to and to be able to make a ton of money. I expected to struggle at first, but I had no idea just how much I would struggle. Right, I would stay up all times of night, just like my mom, researching and trying to find all the ways to make the business successful. But in the end, it ended up wearing me down, and I had to go get a job again. Right? I would eventually stumble into consulting. After what I went through and finally understanding what my mom was going through, I was excited to start working with entrepreneurs to help them build their dreams and avoid some of those problems. Right? Around the same time, I had this realization that the American dream was getting so much harder to reach. That doing things like buying a house, having financial stability, were getting more elusive every day. And so I was excited to be able to help do something about it by helping entrepreneurs grow their businesses. But I was naive. I thought it was just about helping people develop better marketing campaigns and that would fix all their problems, right? Like get more money in, they should be happy. But after working with my first few dozen entrepreneurs, I found out that the problem was actually a lot more complex and that ads and the latest marketing tactics just weren't enough. I tried everything I could think of to help my clients grow, but that didn't work. So I decided to go back to the drawing board and educate myself on everything I could find about business. I started taking course after course. I would even take courses while I was sitting in traffic after work. When I would get home, I would eat dinner, which was usually fast food, and then I would read these thick textbooks about what I had learned in my courses. I did that for years, and I still do it today, but it's much more scaled down. And if you do that long enough, you will certainly burn out, and I did. But not only that, I found out due to a hospital trip for a heart arrhythmia that I'm diabetic. By this time, I had left the organization I was working at and started consulting on my own. I got tired of the restrictions that the company had that stopped us from doing more for our clients, so I figured I would work for myself again. I was busier than ever, but I had this disease that I didn't want to take medicine for. So I had to find time to eat better, which meant cooking more and taking care of my fitness, which meant not working every waking hour of my life anymore. At first, I tried getting up earlier and staying up later, but that just made me tired by midday. I had to try to find a way to fit everything that I needed to do in, which included time with my kiddo, taking care of my health, and taking care of my business, amongst all the other things that we all have to do. And because I had no choice, I knew I couldn't fail. Then I got this book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. One of the most important things I learned in that book is that if you don't manage your time, then your time manages you. So I used what I learned from that book and what I learned about process improvement and analytics to systemize my life and my business. And I started to see massive changes in my life immediately. One of which was boredom, believe it or not. I actually had time to be bored, and I decided I would use that time to watch more TV shows and movies that I never used to watch before because I was always working. Eventually, it was like a little birdie came to me and whispered that other business owners and leaders were going through this too, and then I realized that's exactly what my mom went through too. So I decided that this is actually the best way to help people achieve their American dream, their version of the American dream. Right? The game has changed. And it can feel a lot like there's no way you can have it all. But I'm here to tell you that that's just not true. It's a myth. You can have financial stability. You can have the car, the house, the happy spouse and kids, the flourishing business, and peace while enjoying running your business. But you do have to make some sacrifices. You have to sacrifice chaos, negligence, disorder, and a lack of empathy. By using your data, developing routines, improving your processes, and communicating more effectively, we can drastically simplify the business, generate more revenue, reduce our costs, increase cash flow, and make our personal lives and relationships better at the same time. And that's why I created the 21-day C-Suite positioning system. In just 21 days, we'll work with you and your team to streamline your operations, allowing you to delegate decision-making with confidence. Our program kicks off with a powerful 3-day workshop designed to address your biggest challenges head-on. On the first day, we get a clear understanding of the problems and the obstacles that are causing the distractions. We dive deep into your daily operations to identify the key issues holding you back. Then on the second day, we recap those problems and work through exercises to brainstorm key metrics and their parameters. By the end of this session, we'll have a prioritization framework for all the possible solutions tailored specifically to your business needs. On the third day, we organize and decide on which problems to tackle based on prioritization. We then create an action plan that outlines clear steps to follow until the problem is solved, ensuring you can delegate effectively and regain your focus. But we don't stop there. On the next 11 days, we continue working behind the scenes, gathering data, performing detailed modeling, and preparing comprehensive next step recommendations. We go further and conduct a stakeholder analysis, working with each key team member for about 20 minutes to understand their exact needs and perspectives. This helps us ensure that our solutions are aligned with the needs of your entire organization. After we have that, we work with you in a commander's intent session where we help you develop a clear proverb style rallying cry to help keep everyone in the organization aligned to the same mission. We also help you map out your value streams and operational models, develop advanced machine learning models to identify unique insights and causality for the problem and growth drivers. And then finally, we build intuitive data dashboards with all the new insights, making decision-making straightforward and efficient. These tools empower your team to handle the day-to-day decisions, freeing you to focus on strategic growth, and that's just the main part. It also comes with a slew of bonuses to help you build your brand, reframe your marketing efforts, develop the right financial strategy for growth, and much more. And as a special bonus, when you book a call, you'll receive our Match Framework training video, absolutely free. This powerful tool will help you attract and hire top performing employees, setting the stage for future growth. With this framework, you can begin workforce planning for scale, ensuring you have the right team in place to support your business as it grows. The best part is you only pay after you are satisfied. If we work together and you're not happy with how things are working or the results, then you don't pay, right? So it's time for you to reclaim your life and focus on what truly matters, growing your business and enjoying your success. Click the link below to get started with the 21-day C-Suite positioning system and transform your business today. Save 13 hours a week, reduce your stress, and watch your business thrive. Don't wait, act now. Take the first step towards a better and more balanced